All right, Coach, it's the NFL on EA Sports as you take a look there at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, PA. Just a short time ago, these Philly fans in full roar as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. Pyrotechnics ablaze. They're set to go as their Eagles will match up with the Minnesota Vikings. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Now the first carry for Dalvin Cook. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down.
I remember the first time I saw Dalvin Cook play in college. I was watching him on TV, called a scouting friend of mine and said, "Who is this guy? He's special." And he said, "Dude, you're watching a home run hitter on the field."
Yeah, he was special in Tallahassee. Left Florida State their all-time leader in rushing yards and touchdowns.
Hey, boys, we got four down.
On second down, Cook. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. Only a gain of a yard, but that's all they needed, as that's going to move the chains.
Defensively here, you're facing a top-5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
Zebra. Black. Rhino.
On 1st and 10, Cousins going deep for Diggs. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
We're going. Let's go. Yellow. Go ahead.
A second down throw for Cousins. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. Cook able to escape. And he'll be out of bounds up past the 45. A nice pickup there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
And still fighting. Almost unstoppable on the ground there, as that one is good for 39. You were telling me this yesterday. This is exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation? We were talking about what one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly. It's a big man's game, and it's not necessarily size. He's talking about playing some big boy football. Line up, get leverage, knock people back, and establish the run early.
They run again on 1st down. Cook. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Tackle made there by Jordan Hicks.
It's really simple to say that they know their identity, that they are a passing team. But one of the reasons that they're so successful, they know how to mix in the run and make sure that they keep the defense off balance and not able to just simply say, let's go get the quarterback and disrupt things.
We got four. Wait, hot.
They pitch it out to Cook. And he'll take this one inside the 10, down to the 8. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on 3rd down?
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
It's been a 7-play opening drive, and this is 3rd and short. From the gun, here's Cousins. Oh, they would have gotten the conversion if he could hold on. Instead, the drop means it'll be 4th down.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
Carlson able to put this one through. And the Vikings have a 3-0 lead. So a nice opening drive on the road. You get the 3 points. Part of you wonders if that might hurt them later not getting into the end zone.
Well, the good thing is, still first quarter, and they did come out of it with points. In a sense, they can look at it positively and say, hey, we set the pace in this one. I think that's how they'll go about it.
Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line.
Great 15, great 15. Get over there, go. List 5-2, list 5-2. 10, under 10.
They'll run with a former Badger. It's Corey Clement across the 30 to the 31-yard line. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Counting down toward the midway point in quarter 1. Now with first carry for Daniel Pumphrey. And he'll get this up only to about the 33. It's Everson Griffin who made the tackle.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively.
Hey, 4 down, 4 down.
Shotgun now for Wentz. He's got his man. That's Wallace. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. They give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains.
Let's go, great, great. Out. 3 down.
This is Clement. And good penetration here. He'll get this down only to about the 49-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Let's go. Get over there. Go. Dash. Mike's 40. Good chip. Twist.
Now Wentz throwing on 2nd down. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. Call it a 1-yard gain on the play. And just like that, it's 3rd down.
Great, great. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Watch tight. Tight is right.
Black, black, come on.
Four down, four down.
From the gun, it's Wentz. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by Anderson-Dejo. And they will set up shop at their own 41-yard line. They told us repeatedly earlier in the week in our meetings, we need some plays from our defense here on the road early. They got one.
And don't think they were above all week long pointing out to their defense that the other defense is rated higher than them. You going to let that happen, guys? Is that how we're going to play? And they responded to the challenge.
Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. Oh, he's got a little daylight. Cook able to escape. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a first. One thing's for sure, this defense has to figure out how to stop the ground game. He's eating them up here in the first quarter.
It looks like they have to go to different forces, aren't they? The conventional things aren't working too well. So I remember a coach of mine saying way back when a back's having a great game, you've got to get the ball out of his hands. See how far he can run without the ball. And what he meant was takeaways, knock it loose, because maybe you can't just stop him with just regular tackling.
Running game working, they'll stick with it on first down. And the play goes nowhere, losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage.
Let's go, let's go. Hey, flipper, flipper. Hey, we're good, we're good.
Drop deep, drop deep.
Wait, touch.
Cousins now on second down. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. Busting through contact. Just wasn't a huge hole there for him to operate. Stopped just inside the 35-yard line.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Here we go.
They need to get this to the 24 on third down.
Tight end. Watch tight end. Tight end's right. Tight end's right.
Two. Wait, touch.
On play action, Cousins. Open man is Thielen. It's complete. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 15. Thielen with his first catch, and it's a first down.
Here we go. Yellow.
First down, here's the run with Cook. And he'll be dropped at about the 11 after only a yard.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
Okay, we got four. We got four. Let's go, fellas. We got four down. Let's go.
Here we go. Here we go.
Strong right. Strong right. Strong right. Hey.
Now a second down throw for Cousins. This will be caught just inside the 10. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down.
Let's go, let's go.
Hey, boys, we got four.
They run it for the first time with a backup Murray. And he won't have the touchdown, but he will have the first down as he's tackled at the 2. And they got 3 yards. That's enough. A conversion, and now it's first and goal.
we go.
They'll run with Cook. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota. A great play there. His third touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how are we going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the lead grows to 10-0. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Eagles offense back out onto the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious, because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
And Anthony Barr just has it all as far as I'm concerned in terms of physique, athletic ability, and now he's versatile as well. When he came out of UCLA, he'd played outside linebacker, but also down defensive end. The Vikings can utilize those same sort of skills.
Wentz to throw on second down. He's going to fire one deep, middle of, and he fires one that's intercepted. Picked up by Anderson Dejo. And he's able to take this one back to the 36-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
A 10th carry in the game for Cook. And a short gain down to about the 33. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up, because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Under 4 to go now as the clock runs, and they come up on second down.
Gun.
Second down, Cousins. That is caught right at the 10-yard line. And he carries this one all the way down to the 9. That one goes for 24 yards.
Let's go, let's go.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. He pushes forward for maybe 3 down to the 6-yard line.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal.
Let's go, let's go.
Throwing, Cousins. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. Give him 3 on the play, and that's going to bring up an interesting 3rd and goal. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. They're looking at a 3rd and goal here. They'll run it. Here's Cook. And they will stop him after a fairly minimal pickup. This defense bending but not breaking. It's a gain of 3. It's now 4th and goal. So out comes a field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. From the left hash, he'll have to cut this at a tight angle. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. We'll come back to Philadelphia after this. The kick by Carlson is good. And that'll push the lead up to 13-0. No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively, obviously. 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit like, hey, didn't we practice in that color jersey all day? Isn't that the one that you're throwing it to? And maybe you have to be stern with him. But whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy. One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
3 down, 3 down. Hey, we're good. Black, come on.
Check 40.
81.
Mike 40, check, he's coming.
On second down, here's Wentz, eluding the pressure right. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. So a holding penalty, and that'll send him backwards.
You know, they're trying not to do that. I mean, we know that, right? We talk to them all the time. But sometimes the defensive guys just put you in awkward situations, and you get caught grabbing their jerseys.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty.
Down and man inside, down and man.
Check.
Lion.
Be good.
They run with Pumphrey. And he'll lose yardage here. Back to the 15. Another timeout called by the Vikings now, as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down.
On the ball.
Tight right.
Black.
Working from the gun, Wentz. And he can't hang on to it. Nearly picked. He's known for his hands defensively, but instead it just brings up 4th down. Now on 4th down, it's Cameron Johnston on to punt it away. Back deep is a very dangerous Mike Hughes. Taken at the 37. It's a 45-yard punt, then 8 on the return. And the Vikings will take over here, 1st and 10. And now out comes Minnesota. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point?
The kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him in contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him in contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Super tall.
12 yards there as they move the chains.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with a football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
Cousins now. And a diving grab. I think he got that. Yes. 17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue. It's a 1st down.
I'd have to say that whenever you see a good post route run, they do not like to let it end without the catch. Hence, that great diving play.
Yeah, lay it up there, let him go get it, and he got it. Cousins on 1st down. And he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line. It'll be a 3-yard gain, and that'll make it a second down.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have that center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
Here we go.
That first down
Let's go.
completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. Cousins again. Throw left side on target to Thielen. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
They threw the screen to the perimeter, but to no benefit at all. Tackled behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of yardage.
All right,
The
now here we
Vikings
go.
on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. To the air again, it's Cousins. Cook able to escape, and he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
Carlson able to put this one through. And that's going to make this a 16-0 ball game. Still a little bit of time left here in the second quarter, but they do get 3 before the half and expand that lead.
And they have to be happy about that. And we haven't met a team yet that doesn't put an emphasis on trying to get points on the board in the last 2 minutes of a half. They'll be real excited to have those up on the board.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Now Philadelphia ready to get going on offense again. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
On the ball. Liz.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Broke a tackle, but not much room there ultimately. Just up past the 25 and no further. Now before this second down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in this first half.
Single. Hey, watch Sam. Check Mike.
Liz 5-7.
Mike 54.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation. So we hit halftime with our visitors, the Vikings, taking the lead to the locker room. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach! Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Out come the Eagles now as they'll go on offense first here in the third quarter. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution, or did they think they were just bad plays to call?
Yeah.
We'll find out pretty quickly here if they feel like they had something going, but they just need to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out.
Here we go.
Check.
40's the mic. Squeeze.
On the carry, here's Clement. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Well, if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage would be found.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. Hey, ram.
Throwing now is Wentz. That's caught by the big tight end, Dallas Goedert. First target, first catch, and a first down.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route.
Lion. Here, sit. 82. Get over there. Go.
Wentz now on first down. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. 7 yards on the play, and that'll make this a second down. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. To throw is Wentz. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And that's going to lead to a third down. The last catch took him 2 yards in the wrong direction, so now what can they do on third?
Rip.
Check.
For Tokyo.
Now Wentz on third down. This complete left side to Aguilar. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that's going to bring up a fourth down. And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. It's the Vikings' turn on offense. We get ready for their first possession of the second half. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? I mean, they score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
Let's go. Rose.
From the shotgun, it's Cousins. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Cook. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a third down. The Vikings on third down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 11.
Hey, we got 4 down.
Rhino. We're going. Let's go. Go ahead.
I got it.
Working out of the gun, Cousins. Pressure comes, and down he goes. The Eagles get there for the sack. Well, they went with the nickel. They throw in an extra defensive back. Coverage was very good.
Yeah, it was exactly as you would expect. A passing down. You bring in the nickel package. Just as you described, the coverage was excellent and allowed one of their linemen to end up getting to the quarterback.
And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. The Eagles offense now gets set to head back onto the field. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working and call more of that.
Watch the shift.
Hey, great 15.
Throwing on first is Wentz. Going to look deep for Jeffrey. And that is going to be pulled in one-handed. Wow. That one goes for 36 yards. Well, it's one thing to grab it with one hand, but when you make a catch of that distance, quite another.
Yes, sir. I mean, that one right there, we keep talking about the high-flying antics that we're seeing from receivers nowadays. Doesn't matter what spot they start in. But when it actually does happen in the heat of battle, brings me right out of my seat.
They'll run with Clement. And he takes it down to the 40 with a pickup of 4.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Let's go. 81. Here, sit. Black, come on. 82. 40's Mike. Black.
Wentz now to throw. Wide open receiver complete. That goes for a gain of 31.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
So 3 plays, already first and goal, and they are wasting little time. They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up second and goal.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert and fire out and create some space in the run game?
Dancing to his left. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Oh, that's got to frustrate him a little bit because they nearly got to him there, and it would have been the first sack of the game. Instead, they're able to influence the release, and they did force the incomplete pass.
This is third and goal. Still looking for the first points of the game. Play clock down to 2, and we get a signal and a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. This is third and goal. Still looking for the first points of the game.
Black, come on. Here, sit.
Who do you want?
Hey, stash. Liz. Black, come on.
Hey, let's get that ball, D. Let's get that ball.
Wentz now on third and goal. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
And the kick by Elliott is good. And they'll at least get on the board here, still trailing, but 16-3 now. They had it first and goal, 3 attempts, couldn't get it in, so they settle for 3.
Yeah, the field tends to shrink a little bit the closer you get to the goal line, doesn't it? It doesn't sound right. It sounds a little counterintuitive. But you run out of space to run the deep routes. So they can just sit on the shorter stuff if you're going to throw it. If you want to run it, there's just not as much space. They end up having to take 3 there.
And out now come the Vikings. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Good starting field position for the Vikings as they have it 1st and 10. They start the drive with Cook. And some room to run now. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. And third quarter here, you've got the lead. This is where that strong run game can really benefit you. Stayed in bounds there, kept the clock going.
I like all the points you just made there. And if you throw the football and it's incomplete, now you've stopped the clock and you've helped out the guys on the other side of the ball. So keep it in the hands of those runners. Keep moving it. Keep grinding clock.
Through. Black.
Switch gears. Check it back or check it.
Two.
58, right over there.
Again, it's Cook, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd. I think you'd have to say defensively, these guys are doing their job pretty well, right?
Yeah, we talked about them holding them under 20 points, right, on defense. And they've done that. They've held them. The problem is their own offense hasn't answered their challenge, which was to score more.
Yeah, exactly. I remember you saying magic number was right around 20, and the offense has been the issue. You're right. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. To throw, Cousins. And he'll find Thielen on the right side. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. A first down for Minnesota. Cousins finding Thielen.
Yeah, baby.
Let's go.
Tight as Ringo.
Yellow.
Hey, 4 down.
Another tote for the workhorse this afternoon. It's Cook looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
Let's go. Listen to me.
Tight end right.
Two.
4 down.
From the gun, here's Cousins. He's going to let this one go deep. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by Ronald Darby. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. 2-score game here in the 4th, and that pick, it kind of keeps the door ajar, doesn't it?
It does, and you wonder about their strategy because with a 2-score lead, you would think maybe you're just sitting on it and trying to drain some clock. It's almost like they felt like, hey, we've got a good cushion. We can keep pressing it. It ended up costing them.
Watch the run.
Hey, great 15.
Turn up.
Hey, great 15.
So after the INT, here's Wentz. Jeffrey with a catch left side. And he'll be out of bounds up near midfield at the 49. He got 29 yards that time. Wentz now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10.
Ram.
A run, it's Clement. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
On the ball.
Yeah, check. Hey, Mike. Hey, no, switch the mic right here. Go, Mike forward.
They'll run again with Clement. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well. Now, yes, a two-possession game, but a good chunk of time on the clock, so they have the ability still there to run it on second and short, but maybe they need to pick it up a bit.
You're right. They did pick up the first down there, but they, as you mentioned, they have to pick up the pace now because it's a two-possession game. They've got to get there twice to make sure they have a chance to win.
Alert, alert. 3 down, 3 down.
Hey, stash.
On 1st and 10, here's Wentz. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down. So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10.
Tight end right. Watch tight end. 4 down, 4 down.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And not even back to the line of scrimmage this time as they're on him quickly once more. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll make it 3rd and 13.
Go. Here, sit. Lion.
No. Off.
Black.
Check.
82.
Check. 55 for Mike.
Shotgun now for Wentz. That's the right side here, complete. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 1st down for Philly. Wentz on target to Hollins. Wentz now hitting on 2/3 of his passes, 10 for 15 so far. 1st and 10.
List 5-7.
Hey. 4 down.
Wentz now on 1st down. Steps away to his left. And he'll slide down to avoid the contact. Give him a couple on the scramble. It's 2nd down.
Now, how about that play? He took a possible negative and turned it into positive yardage and slid down to avoid taking a big shot. Excellent job getting down and avoiding the big hit.
4 down.
Hey, Ford, Tokyo.
Alert, flare.
Hey, Bus.
Back.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 4. Now 3rd down. Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this. The Eagles on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd down and 12.
Go. Wrap. Hey, Gray 15.
To throw, it's Wentz. And he's going to go down here, a sack. They push him back to the 34. And no matter what the situation, the O-line just hates that because they feel like they didn't protect little brother back there, right?
Man, that's just so difficult for them because just think about every single play. When you decide to throw the football, you're dealing with some of the best athletes on the planet. You talk about guys, if they weren't playing football, they'd be starring in the NBA at power forward. It's a really difficult task.
And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by Harrison Smith. And this one will be brought back to the 22.
Obviously disappointing, but you had to go for broke here, down 2 scores. So that forced you to make some throws you definitely wouldn't want to make. And I think this interception is going to pretty much write an end to this one.
Handoff comes to Cook. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That good for 19 and a 1st down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Here we go.
Let's get it.
Right back to him on 1st down. And he'll get this up past the 45 to the 47. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. Good gain there on first down. It keeps them in a running situation probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front, good blocking, nice hole for him. He ends up picking up nice yardage, stays in bounds to keep the clock rolling. They are in charge of this scenario right now. They want to stay that way.
And not in any rush offensively. That was second down run for Murray. And they went the wrong way there, losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And that'll lead here to a third down. A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
So for Minnesota, they boost their record up to a strong 4-1, and they'll head back home next week to take on the Arizona Cardinals. Meanwhile, for the Eagles, they drop below 500 to 2-3 with a loss, and they'll look to regroup next week as they head to MetLife Stadium to take on the New York Giants.